Hi, I'm Micah Clark with the American Family Association. Appreciate you joining us today. Another legislative update. We are winding down a little bit on committee hearings. We've got a few more days next week where they will hear some more bills, but we've seen the vast majority of things that they're doing action on already. And so I want to tell you about a bill I testified on yesterday, but I have to say, this is an election year. I don't really understand the ideology or what some of the Republican leaders are thinking this session. It's a short session. They've got the primary coming up. They're mostly avoiding controversial things, but what that always means is they miss opportunities. They miss the chance to pass good legislation, to push forward good bills. And so I'm frustrated because we had some good bills that we wanted passed this session, and they're not doing it. Specifically, Senate Bill 128 looks like that may die. I put an alert out about that this week. Still wouldn't hurt for you to call your state representative and support Senate Bill 128. What that bill does is it requires the school board to approve instruction on human sexuality if the school chooses to teach on that, or sex education. The school board must vote on that, they must review it, and then they must put a description of it up on the website for parents to see. Now the pushback is that we already have laws that do this. Parents can opt their kids out. The chairman of the Education Committee, Robert Baining, does not want to hear this bill. He says there's law that already covers this. That's not true. And frankly, I'll just be honest, I worked on that law he's referring to a few years ago, and I had to twist his arm to get him to hear it then. So he's hiding behind a bill he didn't really like to start with. I don't know why any Republican or any legislator at all would oppose a transparency bill that empowers parents. So I'm very disappointed that this bill is not moving. The Senate did its duty. It passed it pretty easily, but the House will not hear the bill, and that's unfortunate. What's really unfortunate, and you all are going to be frustrated just like me, the legislature is going to end in a few weeks, and then a few weeks after that, all these guys are going to tell you about all the great things they did and why they need your support in the primary. It happens every 2 years. It's very frustrating. We get to receive all this mail about how conservative they are, and yet when they have the opportunity to pass common sense conservative legislation, they punt on it more often than not. So I'm frustrated that Senate Bill 128 looks like it may not pass. It's possible it could get stuck in another bill, but that's going to be very difficult. But so it wouldn't hurt if you call your state representative, ask them to support Senate Bill 128, the Education Transparency Bill on human sexuality. The bill doesn't tell a school what they should adopt, if they need to talk about sex education at all. It simply says if they do, the school board needs to know about it. The school board shouldn't be blindsided by a controversy where a parent sees something they don't like. Another pushback on this bill is, well, a parent can meet with their teacher and talk about this. Yeah, but usually when that happens, it's after the fact. It's after something controversial has come up. This bill would actually avoid controversy because parents and school boards would know in advance what's being taught, and nothing can be brought into the school that's not approved. It's a common sense bill, but I'm telling you, common sense issues are not common sense in the State House. It's very difficult to pass a bill that the general public would think is no big deal. These guys are political animals and everything's a big deal to them, I guess. But it's unfortunate that the House is not doing the right thing on this bill, particularly the chairman of the Education Committee, Representative Robert Baining. So Senate Bill 128 could use your call still. Now, this week I did testify on the bill that's moving through. Very common sense bill. It's passed the Senate with only one no vote. I've mentioned it many times, but again, they're not giving me much to work with on pro-family issues. This is one of them, and this is probably the biggest one. They killed the parental rights bill. Looks like they're killing the education transparency bill. But we do have this bill, and that is Senate Bill 17. Senate Bill 17 had a hearing in the House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday. I testified on the bill. The testimony went pretty well. It passed out of committee 8-1. One Republican voted no. Both the Democrats that were there voted yes. So it's a bipartisan bill. The reason the one legislator, Representative Ed Clare, voted no, I believe, is because the ACLU claimed that they will sue. But the reality is, anything we pass that means anything that's good on family issues, the ACLU is going to sue over. They just have, and all sorts of groups threaten to sue on bills. But we have three branches of government. The legislative branch, their job is to pass policy. The judicial branch can deal with that as they choose. But 15 states have bills like Senate Bill 17 filed. 8 states have passed a bill like this. And what it does, as you may know, is it requires adult websites, pornographic websites, to have age verification software. They can choose from several different models, but they need to have some type of age verification software to protect children from going on there or being accidentally seeing pornographic materials. Again, it's a common sense bill. It should fly through the House. There may be a couple no votes, but I think it will pass with over 80, probably over 90 votes next week. But that's Senate Bill 17. Again, I testified on the bill as I did in the judiciary and told the committee members how important I think this is for families to protect children. I do think one thing that's happened on this issue over the years, because AFA has dealt with protecting children from pornography for 30 years, there is a national consensus now that this is a real problem, and parents are very concerned about what kids are seeing on their phones, on computers. And so there is a national pushback. It's taken far too long, but this is an easier bill to pass now, and I hope the legislature doesn't stop there. I hope next year they come back and do more to protect children from pornographic materials and all the harms that has on the formation of young children's minds. So you can still call your state representative on that bill as well. Senate Bill 17, as I've mentioned, all Senate bills are in the House, all House bills are in the Senate. But those are two bills I wanted to talk about today. Again, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you reading our weekly email. My Wednesday email is critical because it covers things a lot more in depth going on in the State House and other issues as well. But I'd appreciate you reading those, telling others about our weekly email, signing up for that. And I really appreciate you watching these videos as well. I'm not always super comfortable doing them, but we get a lot of feedback from them, and I'm amazed at that. I appreciate that. I know a lot of people watch this video because it's shorter, and maybe it's an easier format than the longer email we do on Wednesday. But thank you for watching these videos. When the session's over, we'll go back to doing interviews with special guests and covering special topics and covering issues more in depth. But until the session ends, this will continue to be a legislative update for what's happened during the week. We've got a few more weeks to go. Things will get very intense in the last few days as legislators try and put bills in the conference committee or different issues that may have only passed one chamber, trying to keep these certain issues alive. So we have to stay alert, we have to stay on top of our toes, and we will continue to do our best to be your eyes and ears at your Indiana General Assembly. So thank you for your support. Tell others about us. Feel free to share this video. And again, I'm Micah Clark, Director of the American Family Association. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for watching.